Bad vices, angry fights, and an anti-cheating security detail. These pop stars may have thought they found their happily ever after, but the writing was on the wall long before their respective wrecking balls broke it down. Shortly before Britney Spears and Kevin Federline divorced in 2006, there were plenty of rumors that there was trouble in paradise for the pop superstar and her backup dancer baby daddy. And this was after only 2 years of marriage. The proof? In November 2005, 2 months after they welcomed their first son, Sean Preston, Star did a poll of more than 5,000 people, in which 96% of respondents suggested Federline was sponging off the pop star and was no good for her. A source also claimed to the outlet that Spears was left miffed because her now former husband had been partying hard and was supposedly spotted flirting with other women. Spears was clearly so done with her man at the time that she filed for divorce mere weeks after giving birth to their second son, Jaden James. Federline opened up about his partying ways several years later, admitting to Us Weekly in 2015. I soaked up as much of the lifestyle as I could. I'd walk into a club and get a table worth $15,000 a night with unlimited free drinking, but everything got so crazy. In the words of Jessica Simpson, a little bit goes a long way, and that was certainly the case when it came to other relationships before she filed for divorce from Nick Lachey. These two were the golden couple of the early 2000s. After they tied the knot in 2002, they immediately invited reality cameras to record pretty much every second of their life as newlyweds for the aptly titled MTV show Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica.
I know it's tuna, but it says chicken by the sea.
The pair seemed madly in love, flaunting their romance on magazine covers and in soppy duets. But the cracks started to appear before the split as Simpson was accused of getting too close to another man. That man? Her Dukes of Hazzard co-star Johnny Knoxville. The rumors were plastered across tabloids in 2005 to the point where Knoxville repeatedly had to deny them. He told GQ, "It's not true. Jessica and I are just friends. She's a great girl and all that, but all the rumors, I just kind of take it in stride, but it's kind of hurtful to the families that are involved." Only she later admitted that wasn't 100% accurate. In her 2020 memoir Open Book, Simpson copped to having what she called an emotional affair with Knoxville. Other early signs this one was doomed. People reported that Lachey started partying more as the cracks were showing, and he refused to join Simpson in Texas for a family Thanksgiving shortly before their split. There were rampant rumors that things between Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey weren't exactly a sweet, sweet fantasy before the divorce papers were filed in January 2015. Cannon himself even confirmed they weren't a vision of love towards the end. In a refreshingly honest interview with The Insider in August 2014, he said, "There is trouble in paradise. We have been living in separate houses for a few months." This news about Cannon, who at that point was only dad to his and Carey's twins, came shortly after Page Six reported they were no longer living in the same home. A source added, "He's been living out of hotels. They're fighting a lot." The outlet claimed that Carey sent a security guard with Cannon to Vegas, hoping that the employee would keep her then-husband away from other women. There were also reports that Carey was supposedly feeling jealous and didn't necessarily trust Cannon not to cheat while he was traveling. Another sign this love train was heading to Splitsville, fans noticed that they hadn't been photographed together in the months before their divorce, despite the two clearly loving the camera in happier times. Cannon tried to change the narrative with a throwback social media snap, which clearly failed. It was pretty clear Katy Perry and Russell Brand's marriage was coming to an end when they spent Christmas and New Year's apart. A source told Us Weekly in December 2011 that the two, who married in October 2010, had hit a rough patch just over a year after their nuptials.
And the worst thing, I suppose, is things like that don't last forever.
The source claimed that the seemingly hot and cold lovers had a serious blowout just before Christmas and never got over it. The Insider explained, "She was like, F you, I'm going to do my own thing." Russell replied, "Fine, F you too." The source purported that the two fought regularly ever since they got together. An E! News insider also claimed the couple had been spending more and more time apart towards the end of 2011 and didn't even reunite for the holidays. The two made it pretty clear they weren't desperate to be in one another's arms anymore when Perry was spotted in Hawaii just before celebrating the New Year, while Brand headed back to his native England. This was all despite CTV claiming in November 2010 they had a pact to never go more than a week without seeing each other. And on top of that, Brand was spotted without a wedding ring in London. Ultimately, he was the one who officially called time on things, filing for divorce one day before New Year's Eve 2011. There were signs LeAnn Rimes and Dean Sheremet's marriage was coming to an end before her notorious 2009 affair with her now husband, Eddie Cibrian. Though it seemed like everything exploded in scandal for Rimes and Sheremet, people reported the two had actually been living in separate cities before the world knew about her new romance with her Northern Lights co-star. Rimes had reportedly made the big move to Los Angeles to focus on her acting and singing career, while Sheremet stayed in Nashville to pursue his songwriting passions. While discussing how they grew apart in different cities, a source told People, maybe there was less of an effort to meet up in those moments where they typically would have met up. Of course, any issues the married couple had were surely exacerbated when Rimes started working and falling in love with Cibrian, who was then married to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Brandi Glanville. The celebrity entertainment world was rocked when Us Weekly shared photos of Rimes and Cibrian at what appeared to be a very romantic dinner in Los Angeles in March 2009. It was then confirmed in July 2009 that Rimes and her husband were separated and had been for a while. An insider claimed the two were supposedly still trying to work on their marriage, but Sheremet finally filed for divorce in December 2009. Tamar Braxton and Vince Herbert's marriage was plagued with serious abuse allegations for a while before they actually called it quits. Long before they signed divorce papers, fans had been concerned over whatever was going on between the stars.
I had to file for divorce to, let Vince know I was very serious.
One of the most shocking and high-profile dramas in their marriage came when TMZ claimed that Herbert had bit Braxton on the hand while they were staying at a hotel together in August 2016. The two attempted to dispel rumors of trouble in paradise, though. Paparazzi got snaps of them holding hands as they put on a united front just days later. However, 2 months after that, the twosome's rocky marriage was back in the spotlight. Daily Mail reported that police had previously been called to the now former couple's home for another alleged domestic dispute while her family was over. A source said of the alleged incident, since there were no physical signs of battery, Vince was not arrested, but these fights are happening more and more. This source also claimed that Braxton had been living in what they described as a private hell with her husband, who also served as her manager, after losing her gig as a co-host on The Real. Braxton and Herbert's marriage lasted about another year after the abuse rumors swirled, and she filed for divorce in October 2017. One way to let everyone know you're over your marriage, telling the world you're over the whole male race before singing a song you wrote about your previous breakup with your husband. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth's marriage appeared to show a few signs of trouble before they split in August 2019, as Cyrus boldly told fans at a show 2 months prior, "I'm sick of men." She then launched into Wrecking Ball, which she'd previously hinted was about one of her splits with Hemsworth amid their years of being on and off. After that, fans noticed that they appeared to stop sharing photos of one another on their social media accounts. Cyrus had posted snaps across her social media channels while she was vacationing without her man in Italy, and she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. With that said, it was actually Hemsworth who eventually filed for divorce from the former Hannah Montana star. It's no secret that Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown's marriage was never the most stable of unions. In fact, tension seemed to exist between the two immediately after they tied the knot. In 2019's A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston, Houston's friend and assistant Robin Crawford claimed that Houston and Brown appeared to start having arguments on their honeymoon in 1992. Crawford also insinuated that there was physical abuse in the relationship right after their wedding. She claimed she saw Houston with an injury and asked her what happened. According to Crawford, Houston told her, "We had a disagreement. I threw a glass, the glass hit the wall, shattered, and that's how the cut happened. Couples argue all the time, and it's never a big deal." Both continued to be plagued by allegations of abuse and drug use from there. Houston's hairdresser, Ellen LeVar, alleged to People in 2018. The problem with Whitney and Bobby was they exacerbated each other's addiction. She did more cocaine, he drank more, but when they got together, they both started doing more cocaine and drinking. In 2016, Brown opened up about their troubled marriage amid the abuse and drug use, admitting to Robin Roberts on 2020 that he hit Houston on one occasion.
The last few years of our marriage, it was terrible. Both of us, trying to be clean or one of us trying to be clean.
If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic abuse, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also find more information, resources, and support at their website,